I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Folks, we covered the whole Rupert Murdoch scandal that threatens to bring down his whole empire, with no doubt George Soros scurrying around in the mix, two demons fighting each other. But this is the London Guardian. News of the world phone hacking whistleblower found dead. Let me tell you, I told you they got Mercs. Death of Sean Hoare, who was first named journalist to allege Andy Coulson knew of hacking, not being treated as suspicious. It's like that woman they found after the kid got killed in L.A., hanging upside down on the balcony with her hands and feet bound, and they said, oh, it's not suspicious. If they ever find me with my, shot in the head 5 times, I didn't do it, folks. Going back to Wayne Paul, brother of Ron Paul, great patriot in his own right. Wayne, we got to get you back up in the near future for a longer interview. But finishing up, yeah, your brother at 75 does so many interviews, reads the bills, always knows the news I bring up, even if it's brand new. He is a Superman. And I'm not just saying that, folks. I'm 37. People think I'm 50. And for years, I worked 18 hours a day. I can't even do it anymore. Sometimes I look at news and get dizzy. I don't know, literally. I'm way past burnout. I'm on my 3rd, 4th wind here. But your brother is just incredible. That's right. He holds the congressional record on the congressional baseball team. Tell folks about that.
Well, this last game that he played in, he hit the ball out of the park. First time in the history that anybody from Congress had ever done that. And the other thing that amazed me about him several years ago, he was in the hospital. He had 2 knees replaced at the same time. 2 weeks later, he's walking from his car to his airplane in Houston to go back to Washington, D.C., and he did it all on his own. I can't comprehend that. I have pain from arthritis. I can't comprehend replacing 2 knees and 2 weeks later doing what he did.
Now, your brother, I've gotten to know him pretty well, not like you, but he is just so focused and meek. But let me tell you, he's a real tough guy at the end of the day. I mean, he is focused. He is, I can see him sometimes late at night live on TV, and you can tell he's exhausted, but he's just powering it out.
Well, I think the amazing thing is his consistency never varying at all. What he said 35 years ago, he says today, and he doesn't need a script to say it. And as long as you're truthful and as long as you're right, you don't need a script or you don't need a monitor like some people do in order to read anything that's going to be publicized. He's straightforward, he's honest, and, our politicians can't handle that.
Well, we know there was chicanery in the last election and some of the primaries, but if there's an overwhelming landslide, they can't stop him. And I'm so glad he is committed all in and is not seeking re-election in the House, all in for this presidential run. We've got to get behind him, Wayne.
600%. Now's the time.
We got 1 minute left, Wayne. Any other little tidbits you'd like to add?
Oh, no, we just, I will try everything in my power to support him in every way, shape, or form that I can do. I admire him for his tenacity. I admire him for his time and effort. He's unequaled as far as I am concerned in terms of anybody sitting up there in Washington, but I happen to be prejudiced.
No, he's unequaled. He is founding father material, and if America doesn't elect him, it's like the reprieve of Nineveh. I mean, if we don't elect Ron Paul, shame on us. And if we don't get 100% behind him to make sure this information gets out at this critical time,
Yep.
like he said with the TSA, if we don't stand up against this, then we deserve it. Wayne Paul, brother of Ron Paul, great American, thank you so much for joining us, my friend.
Alex, it's my pleasure. I'm delighted to do it, and hopefully we can do it again.
Oh, we're going to have you on soon during the campaign. God bless Wayne Paul. We'll be back.
Hello, this is Steve Shank. What does freedom mean to you? eFoods Direct is celebrating freedom with the Freedom Food Giveaway. Each week in July, they are giving away a one-year food supply. Just go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex and register to win a one-year food supply with a 25-year shelf life. At efoodsdirect.com/Alex, look for the new Patriot Pack, a $149 12-day supply of food, plus accessories. That is free with a purchase of $235 or more. Call 800-409-5633 or on the web, efoodsdirect.com/Alex, and register to win a free one-year supply of food. Then listen to Alex Jones to announce the weekly winners. Also, the first 50 to register each day win a $50 subscription to the Voice of Reason e-newsletter. Go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones. I'm looking for people that have the wisdom to spot savings, opportunity, and recognize risk. Saving means to make money. The Cal Ben Pure Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated and twice as good as what you're using now. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils that contain no useless dyes, perfumes, deodorants, or antibacterials. Your risk is the hundreds of hazardous toxic detergents that give you rashes, itching sores, and deteriorating clothing called lint. If you want something better, if you want something you've never had before, you have to do something you've never done before. Getting a free catalog is easy by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com. Take charge of your health now by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
All right, I'm glad that you joined us for this third hour of jam-packed news, information, and your phone calls. It is, of course, Monday, July 18th, 2011. We just had Ron Paul's brother, who's been fighting just as long as Ron Paul against the globalist. With Wayne, it's almost 50 years. And Wayne, of course, was talking about his brother, if he just joined us, finish up that story, who had a double knee replacement, and 2 weeks after was carrying his own bags from the Houston airport and walking way out in the long-term parking himself. Anybody's ever had a knee replacement, I've talked to folks that have, you're supposed to walk on them after a while, but it's reportedly excruciatingly painful. That's an idea of the quiet strength of Ron Paul. And you heard in the history of the congressional baseball team, the only guy to ever, this year, to knock a ball out of the park. I mean, just an example of Ron Paul. I respect people who can stay focused on the news, on legislation, do 10 or more interviews a day, not miss votes, always know what he's talking about, do all these interviews. He's just incredible. And when you know about the rest of the congressmen are lazy, visiting hookers, drugs, corruption, golf junkets, and there's Ron Paul, same guy 35 years ago, he is today, been absolutely right about everything, perfect voting record, true constitutionalist, and I just haven't been giving Ron Paul enough love on air. He is just so good, and he's the type of president America needs. At this critical juncture, God is providing him if we'll get behind him. And even if he loses, we win by injecting real issues. You're not going to get it from Rick Perry, Michelle Bachmann, the IRS tax collector. I wish Rick Perry was real. I get behind him right now. But he is the former chief of staff in Texas in the, 1992 presidential run before Clinton beat him out of Al Gore. He worked for Al Gore. He is a guy that sold out our 8,000 miles of roads to foreign companies. He is a guy that tried to run a hoax saying he had to take forced inoculations. And I told everybody that he was going to run for president because he went to Bilderberg and Jim Tucker has insiders, 2 of them. And Jim said they're getting him lined up for president, probably 2012. Boom. He comes out 6 months ago and says, I pledge to not run. Oh, I may break my pledge. We knew from Fox insiders that was all staged. It's one thing if he breaks a pledge. That's bad enough. To know it was always fake, to act like he's this reluctant hero, it's pure script. Oh, but he goes to the evangelicals, the good Christians, and tells them how much he loves Jesus. Might as well just ask Al Gore to come out of retirement and put him on there. And I got all these Republicans sending me emails going, he may have been Al Gore's guy in the past, and he may have been for all this, but you need to leave him alone. He's going to beat Obama. What, do you want Obama? I heard the same thing with Clinton. You know, when he was leaving, what, do you want Al Gore saying George Bush is bad? No. I'm saying like a Don King boxing match, the Republican and Democrat that the establishment put forward as the people that are going to be the winners. And then people say, well, I want to vote for the winner. The people they put forward to you are like in a Don King boxing match. Why don't people watch Don King boxing matches? It took them 30 years to figure out that they were rigged. Now people finally figured it out. I mean, this is not rocket science. If Fox News and CNN and MSNBC have all been caught putting out fake polls on Ron Paul, dubbing old video of Ron Paul being booed when he wins the CPAC event, not telling you when he wins the straw polls in major states like New Hampshire. I mean, it's dirty trick after dirty trick after dirty trick. That tells you he's the guy. And all this fake COINTELPRO that the White House regulations Art Sunstein talked about. He said, we're not trusted. We've got to oppose this alternative media. We've got to attack the 9/11 truthers. We've got to attack the people that don't believe in carbon taxes. And we've got to attack true constitutionalists. We'll go pose as, quote, conspiracy theorist and attack them. That's why you see that constant meme, attack Alex Jones, attack Ron Paul. The proof is in the fruit. The proof is in the actions. The proof is in Ron Paul's voting record. Have you seen it? No one's got one that good. Have you looked at it? In the history of the New American for decades, analyzing congressional voting records, he's the only person ever with a 100, every time, 100% constitutional voting record. 100%. Known 20 years ago in Congress as Dr. No, because he votes no on all of this garbage. All right, I'm done. And I said I'd go to your calls. Here's the really big news. You know, in the first hour, we had Tony Gosling, investigative journalist, formerly with the BBC in the research department. He's a radio talk show host. He broke down that this could bring down the prime minister. The prime minister has been connected to a nuclear arms sale to North Korea and Israel that I read about many years ago, but now is back in the news. He's now run out of England and raced down to South Africa, probably to check his Swiss bank accounts. He hired, of course, the head Rupert Murdoch employee who ran the News of the World to work for him. And guess what's happened, ladies and gentlemen? News of the World, phone hacking, whistleblower found dead. This is just out. The last 30 minutes. Death of Sean Hoare, who was first named journalist to allege Andy Coulson knew of hacking, not being treated as suspicious. Kind of like Dr. David Kelly